Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about the Houston Rockets. We're having a great season so far, and we're going to look at, in particular, what makes their offense tick and what leads to it being efficient versus not efficient. Let's go. The first thing we're going to talk about is essentially how the Houston Rockets love to run ball screen or dribble handoffs up top, especially with Şengün, and why this creates open opportunities for the offense. So we saw a little mix of screens right there, but eventually we're going to get a Fred VanVleet coming off Şengün right here. The reason this puts a lot of strain on the defense is because you have obviously action just occurred over here, making Christian Braun or whatever defender is a little bit off balance and not sure who he's guarding, which gives Fred VanVleet space, and he is going to shoot that ball. And he shoots it with a pretty decent efficiency as well. But this is a concept that they love to go to whenever action filters out. They don't have something in transition, which is where they also like to push. But if they don't have something clear, they like to go to a simple ball screen and try and target whoever's defender that is coming around this screen. And so because Porter is a little bit slow, it allows the Houston to go over the screen and get a clean look. And then I'm not entirely sure why Michael Porter feels the need to clip him on the way by without contesting the shot, but he does. So all of these concepts have the exact same starting point because they believe this is how they can get essentially their advantage. So again, screen right there, Murray gets caught on the screen, Fred VanVleet is going to shoot that ball. And so what the Houston Rockets are essentially trying to communicate is that either we can shoot when you make a mistake or we can drive when you choose to go over. And both of those things are something that the Rockets are very good at. I believe they're better drivers personally. And so this shooting on the screens is an intent to open up those lanes. The Rockets are definitely a very young and athletic team. And so teams do feel compelled to try and help over. We can see that the defender that would have been over here is shifted over. I don't know if Denver's in some kind of zone or something, or if they're just leaving him. But Fred VanVleet, sensing the extra help, is able to find an open look in the corner for a decent clean shot. And so while that last clip and this clip weren't specifically getting the shot directly off of the ball screen action, it still is because of the ball screen action and what the defense has to do to recover there. We can see that two defenders go with them, and then Braun is now worried about Şengün rolling to the rim, and so that's going to leave Fred VanVleet. And so this still does create open looks despite not being off the initial action of this ball screen. But then the real kicker that really allows them to run this ball screen with efficiency is the post player. Because Şengün is able to pass with efficiency and finish with efficiency, it creates so many more opportunities. And so they're essentially targeting DeAndre Jordan right here. And so making it say, as soon as you step up and you give 28 Şengün space, we're going to punish you. Either Şengün's going to go downhill and drive, or we're just too athletic where we're going to cut to the rim and we're going to get open dunks because of that. So the first threat Houston poses is off that initial shot if you get caught on the screen. The second one is if you overreact and you leave somebody open on the outside because you're worried about the drive of the screen. And then the third one is going to be Şengün simply having space in the middle. He is not a player you want to give space to. Denver should know this better than anyone because simply they have Nikola Jokic, who does essentially the exact same thing, maybe with a little bit better efficiency. But then the real thing that Houston really wants is they want their athletes going downhill. If you put a post player in Saric on one of their athletes going downhill, like that is dangerous. And they are going to attack that every single opportunity with unbelievable athleticism. Now, I've talked about the athleticism being something that you want to capitalize on. And because the Rockets are so athletic, it really bodes well for them in transition. And so when Fred VanVleet gets a piece of that ball, they're looking to push in transition, and they have a lot of good athletes. And I will say Dillon Brooks is very controversial, obviously, but he shoots the ball extremely well and plays very good defense as well. Because Houston has so many good athletes, this is really not a situation you want to be in, simply because you have good passers and good drivers and decent shooters spreading the floor, and that's going to be tough to stop. So when you give them a numerical advantage along with the speed that they possess, you're really asking for trouble. Fred VanVleet makes good decisions, makes good passes. Şengün makes good decisions, good passes. And this leads to a lot of good opportunities for Houston in transition. And so I think Houston is going to be a good team, an above average team for sure. However, I don't expect them to make a super long run in the playoffs. I think they have several weaknesses that are really tough to adjust to come playoff time. The main one being they're going to have several players that don't command a whole lot of gravity in the playoffs simply because they're not as good as shooters you see on other teams like the Celtics, like the Cavs. And so I think defenses will kind of sag off them and make it so you don't have the opportunity to have athletes or Şengün have good passes getting downhill. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like and subscribe, and most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.